Hey everybody, welcome back to Astrologaster. I had to remember what the name of the title was. So just go ahead and get back into it. Miss Avis Allen is back to see us. And we knew that last time that she was with child and there was some concern there. So let's go ahead and see what's going on with her.
Well met, Mistress Allen. Pray tell, the last time I saw you, you were with child, methinks. Pray tell, how
I
fares...
would rather not talk about that, if you please.
Oh, I see. I am full sorry, madam.
Yeah, so not good.
What
I'm
brings
come
you
upon
this?
the
I
matter
beg
that
your
brings.
pardon, madam. I prithee, madam, say on.
I'm come about the new law.
The
I
new
know
law?
not what to do, and I would have counsel.
You are in trouble with the law, madam?
Nay, at least not yet. But my neighbours have begun to remark unkindly upon my absences, my Sunday absences from church. I am afeard one of them may soon denounce me.
'Tis the Act Against Recusants you speak of. The law that obliges Catholics to attend church and take the English sacrament. You are of the Catholic faith, then, I take it?
I, a Catholic, but as well a law-abiding woman and a full loyal subject of the Queen. Long may she reign.
I do not doubt it, madam.
But to take the Protestant sacrament, 'tis heresy. So says the Pope in Rome. I risk being damned to hell if I do it, Doctor Forman. Verily, I find myself in a most terrible bind.
I see. Damned if you do, yet condemned if you do not. A cruel bind indeed. Well, let us see if the stars may untangle it for us. Should Mistress Avis Allen attend Protestant church services?
Now that's a difficult one. So she's being forced to go to services under the Church of England rather than the Catholic Church because of the whole Protestant Reformation. But so she's concerned about going to hell because that's a sin if she goes to Protestant church, or going to jail if she doesn't. It's curious on that. I would I'm leaning towards, I wonder if this is an option to say, hey, go to the Church of England and attend the services, but just kind of ignore the fact that you're there and because you're being compelled to by law. I am Catholic. Should I obey the law and attend Protestant church services? What do we have? We have some have the wrong impressions of the Allen's wealth and are envious. This indicates jealousy and this indicates confusion. So are people just are they singling her out because they are wealthy? Okay, or there's a lot of options here. Avis must remain strong in her Catholic faith, for when the Queen dies, her successor may revert England back to Catholicism. I don't foresee that happening, knowing what I know about English history. This represents death, this advises strength, blah 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 blah. Mr. Allen risks getting in trouble with the law and being punished by the authorities. There may be a creative solution for appeasing the Pope in Rome while also honoring England's Protestant legacy. It is Mr. Allen's duty to cooperate. Now, these are conflicting options, right? Because this one is just like, hey, your people are jealous of you. Like, your neighbors are jealous of you. And this one is both, hey, you should go to church and you should remain faithful to the Catholicism, but you should also maybe not remain faithful at the same time. I'm going to go with this one because I have no indication that her neighbors are jealous of their wealth. And hopefully the game sound is not too low. Actually, I turned it down for recording 6 ages. but I did not turn it back up when I started this this recording, so hopefully that's not too low. You chose B. Yes, I did.
I fear the stars confirm your fears. You must attend church every Sunday, lest you risk being prosecuted for being a recusant.
Oh, but then what of my soul, Dr. Forman?
Methinks I have a solution for that, madam.
Do we?
If you were to cross your fingers
Cross
behind
your
back during the
fingers.
service, any Protestant oath you swear would not count. Of course, you must be sure to stand at the back of the church while doing so that only God may see, and no one else.
Forsooth, what an ingenious notion.
Very ingenious.
Oh, Dr. Forman, you have saved me. You are so wise, sir. 'Tis so. Verily, 'tis most admirable.
But, dear lady, 'tis you who is to be admired. The strength of resolve, your devotion to your faith, and your... Madam, would you care to see my collection of Venetian...
No,
swear?
don't you guys
I
be
would.
flirting.
Indeed, I would like that very well.
No, this is bad news. You have a husband, madam. And you, sir, are her doctor, even though you're not a real doctor. But this is unbecoming of a physician to have a personal relationship with their patient. Do not do this, sir. Achievement unlocked. I won't even say the name of the achievement, but an achievement happened. Of course, you can see it on the screen under a Latin name. I just won't say it. The adherent did wish to know whether she should comply with the law and attend Protestant church services, thereby betraying her Catholic faith. I did advise the querent to attend church, but to cross her fingers behind her back during the service. Methinks the querent is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. Yeah, I could say she's most pleased after what happened after your consultation, sir. Well, we're almost there to letter recommendation. God mend me, what have I done? If only I knew of a Jesuit priest I might confess my sins to. See what you did, sir?
Here comes a beauty dark as night. Her hair does shine, her eyes are bright. A damsel formed for man's delight. Oh, she is quite a lady. Oh, she is quite a lady.
She's quite a lady. This Amelia Lanier.
Good day to you, sir. I am Amelia Bassano of Bishopsgate, here for my consultation.
Welcome, Mistress Bassano. Bassano, 'tis an Italian name, is it not?
Aye, it is, sir. Though I was born in London, my family are from Venice. They did come to London to gain employment as musicians at the royal court.
Ah, I know one of your countrymen, Riccardo Ferraro, another one of my querents. Mayhap you know him? He hails from Venice, too.
No, sir, I do not know him. Venice is a large city, and as such 'tis home to many thousands of men. And as I did mention, I was born in London.
Aye, of course. Mayhap we turn our thoughts to what brings you hither this day. Have you a question for me?
Aye, sir, I wish to know what afflicts me, for my belly does begin to swell, and lately I oft find myself chundering.
Sounds like
after
you
meals.
too are pregnant, ma'am.
Swollen abdomen and involuntary upward purging. Well, now, let us consult the stars to judge the cause of these troubles. What is ailing Mistress Amelia Bassano?
I mean, I would think that any woman of this age, even in these 1600s, should understand what pregnancy is. I mean, maybe she's not pregnant, but it just seems awkward that we have two women that are like, please tell me if I'm pregnant or not. I mean, you think they have an idea? Also, sir, again, we have seen your poor ethics in being a physician. You probably shouldn't be telling some of your clients that you have other people as clients. Like, it's probably a privacy matter to say who you are consulting with, but obviously you have no ethics, sir. What is the cause of my swollen belly and my chunderings? Well, either you're highly protein deficient, or you're pregnant, madam, or you have a large bezoar obstruction in your stomach. But, this querent is suffering from liverworm. Excuse me, what the heck is liverworm? But it doesn't sound like that's what she has. Represents an imbalance of phlegm in the body. This querent is with child. Again, the moon falling in Scorpio, this suggests the illness will not last long. Or this querent is afflicted with a crick in the knees caused by the pressure of excessive weight gain. No, I have to say, ma'am, you appear to be pregnant. This appears to be what we are. We are now a full OBGYN of the Shakespearean variety.
I neglected to ask, is there a Mr. Bassano?
My father still lives.
I mean to say, are you yet married, Mistress Bassano? I presume you are, for the stars indicate that you are with child. Wondrous news indeed.
Ah, I see.
Of course, it is natural for a young lady to be a trifle anxious when she's expecting her first child. And I see you are anxious, are you not?
She's not married.
Mr. Forman, I own that I am.
Well, doubtless you are anxious owing to the unpredictable nature of your condition. For instance, sometimes the child might emerge from its mother's womb early, weeks or even months earlier than anticipated. This possibility
are you
is a
suggesting
medical fact,
a
and
miscarriage,
one that should
sir?
be explained to any husband you may. Do you see what I'm saying, Mistress Bassano?
I see what you're saying,
not
sir.
Not in the least, sir.
Some of my maiden querents, I assume you are still unmarried and therefore a maiden, when they find themselves inexplicably with child, they oft do not remain unmarried for long. I advise you to discuss this with your family without delay, Mistress Bassano. Doubtless they will be keen to make the arrangements for you.
I see. Yes, of course. I must lose no time in finding a husband. I thank you, Dr. Forman. Good day.
Or, if you had read between the lines, he was saying he could provide you with the 1600s abortion, probably with some more of his strong water. The querent did possess with a swollen abdomen, involuntary upward purging. I did judge the querent as being with child. Methinks the querent was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. I don't know if she was pleased, honestly. And why did she call herself Amelia Lanier when her name was Bassano? Doubtless cousin Alfonso will consent to marry me, especially if Lord Hunsdon settles money on me for the child. Ooh, Lord Hunsdon. Lord Hunsdon is the father, ma'am. Okay.
Mary Payne is frightened when she spies a looking glass, for 'tis a portal out through whence the gates of hell do blast. A deadly and foul wind that comes direct from Satan's paw.
Okay, Mary Payne. She's afraid of portals to hell that come from Satan's butt. Okay, so she's a very pious woman that is afraid of normal, everyday things.
Blessed morrow to you, Dr. Forman. I am Mary Payne of 4th Street in Lambeth, and come to seek your counsel about my neighbours.
Good morrow, Mistress Payne, and well met. What trouble do your neighbours give you? They play their lutes into the night, perchance? Mayhap a neighbour has cast a malignant spell upon your cabbages.
Not my
Sir,
cabbages!
'Tis no trifling matter. Indeed, 'tis a matter of grave importance. Doubtless you do know we have a Catholic living on 4th Street. A woman by the name of Avis Allen.
We are familiar with Miss
Yes.
Allen.
I did hear tell that Mistress Allen subscribes to the Romish faith. But 'tis no crime to be a Catholic, is it, madam? At least, not at present.
Aye, but harbouring a Jesuit priest is, Dr. Forman. These evenings past, I have spied a man sneaking in and out of the Allens' house. 'Tis my reckoning the man is a priest who is going hither and thither all over Lambeth to perform the Catholic Mass and take confessions. Doubtless Mr. Allen is hiding him in one of those little cupboards.
You mean
In
to
the
say
little
you
cupboards,
think
ma'am.
Mr. Allen has installed a priest hole in his house? A secret room hidden behind the wood panelling of a wall?
Indeed I do. I am certain that he has such a hole, and that a priest is going in and out of Mr. Allen's hole from dusk till dawn.
Ma'am, please don't say that.
How troubling. But surely you are mistaken, madam, for under the cover of darkness, how can you be sure the man you did spy was not Mr. Allen himself?
Nay, nay, 'twas not Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen is a fine, tall figure of a man, whereas the figure I did spy was very narrow and malformed in appearance. A scrawny little imp of a man he was.
Was it a female?
See.
Now, you must not think me intolerant, Dr. Forman. If Mistress Allen must cling to her idolatrous backward beliefs, 'tis her own affair, and I have no wish to cause trouble for the Allens. And 'tis true that Mistress Allen does now attend church on Sundays.
She definitely
and
does.
takes the English sacrament just as she ought to. But we residents of Fore Street are decent English folk. We will not abide an agent of Rome sneaking around our neighbourhood, muttering incantations in some devilish foreign tongue.
I think you mean Latin, madam.
But before I act upon my suspicions, I think it wise to know if there be any truth in them.
Then let us see what the stars can tell us. Who is this mysterious stranger, and why does he frequent the Allens' house late at night?
Who is the mysterious stranger? And how can we get this lady to mind her own frickin' business? Are my neighbors, the Allens, hiding a Jesuit priest? The man Mistress Payne saw harbors cruel intentions towards the Allens' household's goods and possessions. Mistress Payne will die suddenly, mayhap before the end of this consultation, narrow and malformed, a scrawny little imp of a man? Mistress Payne will die suddenly. So are we gonna kill her? Are we gonna kill this woman? This speaks of a relationship with an untrustworthy foreigner. As foreigners are untrustworthy by nature, this element may be of no particular significance. And Mistress Allen's maternal instincts have been thwarted by her inability to bear a child, but she stubbornly persists in trying to reverse her infertility. Or the stars speak of an educated man who adorns himself in fine clothes. The man Mistress Payne saw is a public enemy who engages in idolatrous worship of the Virgin Mary. In other words, he is a Jesuit priest. Okay, so this one says the man is a public enemy. That's not great, because if a public enemy is consorting with Miss Allen, then that's not great for Miss Allen, and we like Miss Allen, so no to that. This one is about Mistress Payne will die suddenly. It's kind of odd that Mistress Payne will die before the end of this consultation. So it sounds like we want to murder Miss Payne. Did I say Miss Allen? I meant Miss Payne. So Miss Payne will die. No, we didn't want to kill Miss Payne. So I guess the only other option is that Mistress Allen is trying to reverse her infertility with this gentleman that keeps showing up late at night. I don't like the options, but this is the least bad option, I believe.
Ah, 'twould seem the man you saw is a foreigner who's been secreted into the Allen house to aid Mistress Allen with their family difficulties.
Family difficulties? Come, Dr. Forman. Pray, speak plain.
Ah, well, as you doubtless know, the Allens have never been blessed with a living child. Mayhap 'tis the belief of Mistress Allen that the seed of a foreigner would prove more powerful than the demonstrably less successful seed of Mr. Allen.
Then 'tis naught but adultery. Fornication with a foreigner. Mistress Allen will pay dearly for such sinning. Her soul will be damned to an afterlife beset by the exquisite tortures of hell's capricious demons.
Aye, well, according to scripture, that is technically true.
But to harbour a Jesuit priest is a far greater evil. We must be glad that Mistress Allen commits naught but the sin of adultery, conducted late at night, with a man who gives forth strong foreign seed.
We must be glad of that.
You have given me much to think on, Dr. Forman. Blessed day.
I am glad to have been of service, Mistress Payne.
We must be glad that it was not a hideous Jesuit priest, madam. The querent did wish to know whether her neighbors, the Allens, are illegally hiding a Jesuit priest. I did tell the querent that the man she took for a priest is a foreigner who is helping Avis Allen conceive a child. Methinks the querent was pleased with me. Alright, what a fine-looking youth Foreman's manservant is. Oh, would that I were my niece's age again. Who is the manservant? Everyone keeps loving on their manservant. Can we see a picture of this man?
When a querent does rock a continental frock, when Ferraro does rock a continental frock, when his Italian flair features on facial hair, 'tis Ferraro, Signor Ferraro.
Signor Ferrero. How can we help you, Sir Ferraro?
God give you good day, Signor. And how may I assist you?
'Tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to see the great Doctor Simon Forman.
Thank you, sir.
So I see. What brings you this day?
I bring myself to you, so you treat my illness. 'Tis very grave.
And, what might this illness be? Perchance we might start with your complaints.
First problem is the laughter that cannot be controlled.
Uncontrollable laughter, you say?
That didn't sound real, sir.
I see. Anything else?
Next problem, the dancing that cannot be controlled.
Uncontrollable dancing.
Are you drunk, sir?
And yet, you do not appear to be dancing at present.
What can I say? 'Tis uncontrollable dancing. I cannot control when I dance.
Nay, 'tis a fair point.
Doubtless my disease, whatever it may be, is very rare and very difficult to diagnose. But of course, if it be beyond your medical understanding...
Let me assure you, Signor, that whatever is said of us on the continent, the learning of we English doctors is unparalleled. There is no better medical care to be had than in London. Now, let us see whether the stars may tell us something of your unusual and troubling illness.
I believe you're just drunk, sir. I suffer from uncontrollable laughter and dancing. What ails me? Signor Ferraro has been bitten by a tarantula on one of his ankles. Tarantula venom causes the victim to laugh, sing, or dance uncontrollably, while also provoking an acute loathing of music. I don't think that's true. I haven't been bitten by a tarantula. I don't plan on being bitten by a tarantula, but I've never heard of that. Signor Ferraro is suffering from colic, a disease that occasions abdominal pain, belching, and bloating of the stomach. I mean, yes, I hear the belching, but I'm not seeing abdominal pain. Also, I don't believe there's any tarantulas in London to bite him. So I do not like any of these options. Uncontrollable laughter and dancing. Sir, I believe you have colic and you just don't want to tell me about your other symptoms. Sir, I think this is your ailment.
It sounds to me like you're experiencing pain in your stomach.
But how did you know this?
Indeed, methinks you are stricken with a bout of colic. Most doctors do advise upward purging, but I have found the dog cure more efficacious in cases of colic.
The dog cure?
Exactly.
Aye.
The dog
First,
cure?
you must find a dog lying idle on the ground. On any street in London, you will find such a creature. Then you must kick the dog away.
That's not nice.
Lower your breeches, and then make water upon the spot where the dog did lie.
That's weird.
If you say so, Signor Forman.
If we were not on English soil, of course, I would have said you were bitten by a tarantula. But there be no such spiders in England. Our weather is much too cold for them. Indeed, only an overqualified quack who draws his medical knowledge from books alone would think such a diagnosis appropriate in this case.
Indeed, most ludicrous.
And in truth, the laughing and dancing you are troubled with may doubtless be attributed to your hot-blooded Latin temperament.
Doubtless you speak it true, eh? 'Tis but a symptom of my hot Venetian blood. Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
Good day, sir. Please go use the restroom. Please go abuse a dog and then use the restroom in public. Those are my instructions to you, sir. The querent did possess with uncontrollable laughter and dancing. I did diagnose a bout of colic, having remarked the querent's abrupt exhalations of foul air. Well, he seemed to enjoy it. By what matter of dark magic did he learn of my stomach pain? We didn't really. We heard of your belching.
Why does this lady feel confined? Mayhap the world is too unkind. Nay, doctor, medicate her mind. Pray cure this comely lady. Pray cure this comely lady.
It sounds like she's feeling confined because she's had to marry her cousin because the Lord Hansberg, or whatever his name was, got her pregnant and she had to hide that fact.
Good day to you, madam.
Yes. Good day, Mr. Forman. Pray tell, is your Venetian querent Riccardo Ferraro one of the patients you treat for troubles of the mind? Forsooth, his manner is right strange. I passed him at the door, and when I addressed him in the Italian tongue, he abruptly turned from me and ran away down the street.
Nay, Signor Ferraro has no grave troubles of the mind that I'm aware of. Mayhap he was merely dumbstruck by your beauty, madam.
Dr. Forman, a man is rarely struck dumb by a woman's beauty. Indeed, 'tis quite the reverse. He is oft rendered all the more loquacious, plaguing her with ill-formed metaphors he believes are compliments, and with hasty declarations and invitations she has neither sought nor invited.
Ah, quite. But let us turn our minds
Yes,
to
why are you here, ma'am?
I did lately hear of your marriage to your cousin, Mr. Alfonso Lania, for which I must congratulate you. And as I recall, you were with child when I last saw you.
Aye, I was, as you correctly judged.
And your child and husband are both well, I hope?
I would rather not discourse on the
Ooh.
subject of my husband, Dr. Forman.
Ouch.
As it pleases you, madam. What brings you this day?
Lately I have been feeling heavy and lethargic. I do also find it hard to fix my attention upon the book I am reading or upon words I am composing. And yet, although I oft feel right tired, I am having difficulty sleeping.
Ah, well, becoming a mother, beset with all the demands of a suckling babe, can force change upon the normal rhythms of life.
Nay, 'tis not that, for I have employed a wet nurse for the feeding and much of the care of my son.
Yep, just pass off your son to someone
I
else.
must have some kind of disease.
I see. Let us consult the stars to see what afflicts you. What is ailing Mistress Amelia Lania?
I feel heavy and lethargic, yet I cannot sleep. What ails me? That's a hard one. Squarent suffers from melancholy, being in excess of black bile. I would have said she's just depressed, but typically, I mean, it's hard to say typically for a thing like that, but I mean, a lot of times when someone is depressed, they sleep a lot. They don't have trouble sleeping, they sleep a lot. This querent suffers from phlegmatism. It is a temperament associated with excess of phlegm, characterized by stoicism and stubbornness. She doesn't sound stoic and stubborn. The querent is troubled with an excessive choleric temperament. It is associated with the excess of yellow bile. Sufferers exhibit an aggressive, opinionated nature. An aggressive, opinionated nature. She doesn't seem to be aggressive. This suggests the illness is curable. An imbalance of black bile. This indicates the illness will get worse before it gets better. This is a psychological factor. This illness is chronic. Ma'am, do you just have postpartum depression? I mean, I don't know if that causes one to not be able to sleep. Or do you just hate your husband? It's probably that. Aggressive, opinionated. She does seem opinionated, but I don't know about aggressive. She's not stoic and stubborn. Ma'am, I think perhaps you have postpartum depression? And also you're upset about the quality of your cousin slash husband? So I think you are melancholic, ma'am?
Mistress Lania, the stars indicate that your suffering is occasioned by melancholy, or, in other words, black bile.
I see. And what treatment can you give me for it?
Before we speak of treating your condition, madam, I think it wise we determine what has provoked it. You did express a desire not to speak of your husband, and I cannot help but think that such a reluctance reveals where the source of your troubles might lie, to wit, within your marriage. Would I be right in thinking this? I do not wish to cause you distress, madam, but as a doctor, I do feel I must press you in case it is relevant to your troubles.
My marriage is not a happy one, Dr. Forman. Mr. Lanier and I do not agree on matters of money and strong drink.
I see. And what are your opinions on these subjects?
That he spends all our money on strong drink.
Well,
He disagrees.
And your husband
that's an
cannot
opinion.
be brought around to see your point of view, nor you his, I presume. Well, the marital discord provoked by strong differences of opinion can often engender melancholy in a wife. Until the matter is resolved between you, you may take a syrup of roses and chicory. Drink of it each day, and it will serve to reinvigorate your vital spirits. I will also have my manservant William bleed you of some of that excess bile.
I thank you, Dr. Forman.
William, come hither and bleed Mistress Lania.
can we see this William? Sounds like a specimen of a man. The querent did present with symptoms of heaviness, lethargy, troubled sleep, and an unnatural pallor. I did advise the querent that she suffers from melancholy. I had her bled and prescribed a treatment of rose and chicory syrup. Methinks the querent is most pleased. Almost to that letter of recommendation. Okay, let's listen to the next little speech, the next introduction, and then I think we'll end the episode here. Okay, excuse me. Okay, let's read this and then hear the next thing. Sir, I thank you for your recent inquiry with regards to obtaining a license to practice medicine. I note from our records that you terminated your enrollment at our institution some years ago on the grounds of insufficient funds. Whilst we do not ordinarily issue medical license to men who have not first completed a medical degree, proof of equivalent professional experience in the form of letters of recommendation may be taken into consideration. A minimum of 8 such letters of recommendation is customarily required. I advise you to write to us once you have obtained the requisite number of letters. John Cowell, the Vice-Chancellor, University of Cambridge.
What is their relation? We are no longer sure. Seems Forman's now the patient, and Davis is the cure.
This is a bad place to be, Mr. Forman. You should not want to be in a relationship with your patient. I tried to tell you this, but you did not listen to me. So we will find out next episode how this gets on. I don't think it's going to end well. I don't foresee a letter of recommendation for this from this woman. So, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again next time.